You are listening to the Centropic Oracle, an audiobook podcast of science fiction and fantasy short stories that make you think and feel.
Hello everyone, this is Brock Roberts, and I had a blast narrating today's story. If you like what you hear, I also talk about books over on my YouTube channel at youtube.com/letsreadsff. It was an absolute pleasure to narrate today's story, and I hope you enjoy listening with a big thank you to the Centropic Oracle for having me on. Time Heat by Nicholas Stillman. Folks tell me the wizard-like man had traveled back in time to the present. I believed them too, because the man I invited onto my farm could send things into the future. He sent small materials, food mostly, from our time to his. He claimed the people from his time truly needed it, and boy, I believed that too. But he also came with controversy and a sizable crowd of activists. He allowed the fascinated youngsters to follow him, for he knew he didn't belong in our time. The environmentalists recorded his every gesture with their cell phones. He humbly rolled up his robe sleeves and displayed his hands on request to assure everyone of his sincerity. Though he could send items through time with a flick of his hand, he only sent explicitly donated food. When his silent yet startling demonstrations got old, the world started talking about the dilemma of erasing matter, precious organics from our era. Via the implants in his hand, he made those organic items vanish forever. They would never get consumed on our world or even decomposed here. The material would never get mixed and munched back into our food chain. I suppose I let him into my farmhouse out of standard country kindness. The tall, bony man drifted a foot, pleading to big producers like me for bulk foodstuffs. I asked his entourage to wait off the property, just to give the poor man some room to relax. He never did relax, though, not his tense and taxed body, and certainly not his blazing, serious eyes. I shook his frail hand, having had no time to wash my own after packing carrots into crates all morning. I welcomed him to the dining room table, and I could tell my hospitality dazzled him. The air had thickened that day with the scent of sweet corn and everything else that spiced up the skunky smell of farms and fertilizer. I could imagine my guest inhaling the bliss, too. I imagined the hungry doctors of the future knowing every particle of those scents and what every atom could do for a starving body. As I went out to close the kitchen windows, my wife whispered something which I hoped only I could hear. "You know the real dilemma, Paul," she said. "He wants to feed people our compost." "I'll straighten this out," I told her. She knew, like everyone else, though, that I'd have no way of checking on the people of the far future. I would never know if my demands at the family table would hold firm in the societies of later times. I returned and sat with the wizard-like man. He bowed slightly. He had grown tall from eating well in childhood. However, after that burst of plenty, after his bones won that race toward the ceiling, he had gone into full-time hunger mode like every adult of his era. What little meat he had on him sunk inward, where it mostly served to prop up his bones. I knew from any angle he couldn't handle tugging along a horse, a frisky mutt, or even a shovel. His people had sent us a lean ambassador who could only muster words and master politeness. "So they tell me the people of your time go hungry," I said, "and yet they can time travel." "I can time travel," the wizard-like man corrected. He bowed, and his clasped hands spread apart apologetically. "It costs much to go back. So much that people starve in favor of having the technology. Here in your time, we also see marvelous toys amidst poverty. Call it a flaw in human progression. Alas, I could not go back to a more fruitful time than yours." "I see," I said. "So the neighbors tell me you want to sift through my daily compost heaps, all the organic waste I take in from around the community. You'd get rid of the materials my workers separate, the stuff we bury, and won't even add to the pig swill." "Yes," the wizard-like man said. I saw my wife in the door, arms crossed. "So you just mope around and make waste materials vanish," I said, "which lightens my tractor load." "Yes," the wizard-like man said, with a dot of hope in his eyes. "Well, my people, my family, want to know what your people will do with this waste product. I have no use for it, but if people eat it, they could become terribly sick." "My people will use their best measures to prevent themselves from getting sick," the wizard-like man said. His hand waved majestically. His little lean forward told me he could not hint anything more about the sanitization marvels to come. "But still," I said, I waited in case he wanted to finish for me. He didn't. He kept that faint-as-fog smile going. Any folk eating this stuff, I continued, no matter how you cook, wash, or process it, will get sick occasionally. Starving folk get desperate. They'll eat raw, non-irradiated, bug-ridden butcher's slop. Yes, the wizard-like man said. They accept the gracious, sweeping benefits and the risks. Well, I said. The sigh I made afterward had more muscle than any before it. I inherited this farm, and though my grandparents no longer run it, or even live anymore, I know they wouldn't approve of me giving food off this land that makes people sick. So I'll have to say no. The man's sunken face bowed again, and I wondered if he had the resolve to raise it fully. Folks say I must have felt what they call time heat. The term sums up all the stress of the controversy, the strain of making moral choices about time-traveling matter. Well, I believe them. I made the hardest choice of my life that day. I didn't want to save lives by filling those lives with illness. A voice from my ancestors, the simple farmers of the past, had set the rules for the future that day. The world would start following my lead. My wife went out and returned with a glass of wine for each of us, the normal courtesy for all our guests. She set the big globular wine glass before the wizard-like man and a smaller port glass before me because I had more work to do with the carrots. Before leaving, she stroked my shoulder, and I knew our family had made the right choice. I hope you understand my concerns, I said as I picked up my drink. I truly do, said the wizard-like man. He stared at his wine. A sweet and bitter aroma came off that pale drink like roses blooming right under our chins. His hands swayed over the glass. After a whisper to no one, a glance at the ceiling, and a mimed flute chord with his fingers, the wine vanished. Somewhere between my clumsy saccades, every particle of that beverage went away, leaving the wine glass dry as a diamond. My wife brought that for you, I said. I can assure you both, the wizard-like man said, with the same subtle smile. The ones who will drink it really, really appreciate it. As I let him out, I asked him his name. He said it didn't matter. As I raised my arms in a shrug, I looked at my glowingly clean hand in amazement. When the wizard-like man had shaken my right hand earlier, he sent away the orange carrot juice stuck to my palm, the brown mud beneath it, and even my sweat.
We hope you enjoyed Time Heat by Nicholas Stillman, read by Brock Roberts. If you'd like to learn more about the author and narrator of this story or make a donation to them, follow the story page link in the description. If you would like to submit a story for consideration or apply to be a narrator, a link to our submission guidelines is in the description.